we could actually in the beginning fight so much and long, but we swear we never go to bed being enemies and actually continue this fight for another morning. Neurodiversity, it's actually biodiversity of our brains. It's our mental cognitive uniqueness. And that's why it's not weakness, it's uniqueness. If you go through hell, keep going. Just keep going. It will be better. And Einstein said the greatest thief of joy is comparison. Don't do that. Would you like to give a birth or you would like to be a mother? I'm like, what? He's like, you understand? It's completely two different things. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you can give a birth to 10 kids and never became a mother. You don't have to have kids in your belly, but you can be the greatest mother of all. The greatest, I think, achievements actually comes from our greatest moments of adversity and from our scars.
I pressed it.
We can give it done.
Yes. We are in business. Oh, yeah.
We are born ready and we are here. Yes.
Guys, I am so excited for today. I am here with such a beautiful woman, beautiful inside out. Man, joined by someone whose story is as compelling as the work she does, Valeriya. You know what? I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Hjertenæs?
Amazing. I actually was explaining when this beautiful queen would be asking me that question because, yes, I know everybody does. And it's Norwegian one. It's Hjertenaes, but you're so close perfectly. And actually, the first, it's from two words, and it's the first word is hjerte. It's like heart. If you can see how actually it's written, it's almost like heart. Right. And Hjertenaes is like kind-hearted, actually.
Wow.
It's very shy, right? But it's from my husband, but he's really kind-hearted, and so it's Hjertenaes, yes. But I know when I'm in US, they're like Hjertenaes. You can call me Val if you want. Mm-hmm.
Hjertenæs, how amazing. So your hubby is, you guys have been married for 20 years, you said?
Almost 21, like a very sustainable marriage, right? Very like yours, you said, very sustainable, very rare now product in this modern.
Yeah. What's the key to that? How do you stay married for so long?
Wow, this is an amazing question. And actually it was, of course, in the beginning, like everybody has a little bit like friction and they try to explore some boundaries. But I think because the foundation was mutual respect, understanding, and we made actually 3 rules, almost like psychological contract in the very first beginning, because he a very strong-minded person and we are from 2 different cultures. He's Norwegian, Scandinavian, Viking. I'm Ukrainian, right? So we knew already that, okay, if we are approaching our relationship to try to convince that Ukrainian stuff or Norwegian stuff is better, then it's the wrong way. You cannot go this way because, of course, you will find everything what is better in this culture, but the most important to approach with the not judgmental method or, try to figure out how they are doing. It's worth or better. No, it's just different. And to be open with openness and real genuine curiosity, they're just doing different, but maybe it's nice bridge to learn, to gain some new knowledge. Why not? Okay, I'm just so kind of smart, wise, giving this advice, but in the beginning it was very, very difficult because anyway, many contracts, but I had to move to Norway. I had to adjust, right, and everything. But he was very nice facilitator, actually, that it should be not that harsh because climate is different, and I was born in southern part of Russia and then moved to southern part of Ukraine, and all of a sudden no sun here. But this also put me in a situation. I had to produce my son inside me, otherwise we all have to. So maybe this mutual understanding, respect towards our culture. And we actually also made another agreement that we could actually in the beginning fight so much and long, but we swear we never go to bed being enemies and actually continue this fight for another morning. Like we can sit many hours, discuss, but be friends again and like get over that. So it was, I think this was the key.
Smart.
Yeah.
To never go to bed upset.
But kind of it was a little bit frameworks, at least we tried to stay. But now after so many years, actually, right, so we believe, oh, I have been dressed like, dressing up him so many years already. Why I should put my energy in rest to do something new? No. I love my stuff. Staying with my stuff.
Yes, and you do a lot of stuff. Like you're a PhD researcher, international keynote speaker, the founder of the 5E Enablers method, which I want to hear more about. And is it like you said, it's a leadership framework helping organizations turn neurodiversity and sustainability into real performance. That's like the kind of level, like we're talking, what is all this? Like, how did you get into this? What is your, what made you get into neurodiversity? What is this? I don't know. Let's start somewhere. What is the?
I love it so much how you put it. You even open it and you level of that for me now, because I approach every interaction both like a student and a teacher. I'm trying always to embrace so much new knowledge, and you have already put it, Catalina, so brilliantly. You're the very first one I could hear, and my brain is very actually dreamy one, that you said now neurodiversity, not neurodiversity. And for me it's so beautiful, because look, anniversary for me it's totally positively charged narrative and neuro, and you put together, and actually it's true, it's even not neurodiversity, it's now neurodiversity. We can really celebrate it. It's actually my mission to change the global narrative about neurodiversity. That's why I call myself sometimes not OCD, but OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder. It's my neurodivergence. How I say it in medical language, right?
I love it.
I call it OCS. It's all obsessive compulsive superpower. Or even I know my next tattoo will be we have this word delicious. I will be OC delicious. OC delicious, yes, because this is very, very important. It was the game changer in my life. 2 years ago, I found myself, I drove myself. I'm very responsible mother, friend, citizen of my community. And I know we make ripple effect on humanity in all our interactions. So I drove myself to mental institution. I need help again with my OCD severe episodes after the war broke, after transporting my parents, which are refugees. I have adopted 2 kids from Ukraine. One is neurodivergent. She was suffering very much when the war broke with panic attacks, anxiety, everything. So one day it was so much for me that know that actually I have OCD. The most important you can do, it's not weakness, it's your strength actually to acknowledge that, recognize that it's totally okay to be overloaded cognitively. It's totally okay to not be okay all the time. And then we have a lot of tools, a lot of helping methods now, a lot of people and communities, therapies. So I drove to this mental institution and I asked about help. I was there for 4 weeks. I knew my diagnosis, and before that, it was always operating in the medical language, which is actually, unfortunately, quite depressive and negative, because you call yourself with disorder, disability, weakness, all these labels, which actually, unfortunately, so sticky to yourself, right? And they damage really your self-esteem, self-advocacy, self-limiting beliefs are growing and flourishing, everything. And while I was there, all of a sudden I found one article about, actually, ironically enough, but about Elon Musk, that he was using ketamine therapy while he was under depression episodes, and something about neurodiversity. It was the very first time I could find this term for 2 years ago, first of all, I was like, what is neurodiversity? I am actually living this story for 17 years already, and I have never discovered this term, right? And then, okay, for me, it was like, okay, even if Elon Musk, okay, like he has depression, like, maybe also I can have some depression, like, I'm always trying to find medal with two sides, to be still positive, even in some negative side. I was like, self-laughing, self-ironically, jokingly, but then what is neurodiversity? And then of course, I'm very nerdy one, start like gaining a lot of information and knowledge. And neurodiversity, for people who may be in your audience, they also didn't discover this term yet. Very powerful tool, because it changed immediately narrative. It takes it from this like deficit disadvantage language with medical language emphasized to positively charged narrative, right? So neurodiversity acknowledges the natural variations in how human brains function and how they process the world. It's actually very easy. We have different fingertips, we have different DNA, and we are almost 8.5 billion people, right? And we have biodiversity, and we know that everything what is actually functioning in our world so interconnected, and how biodiversity can thrive and survive because we are so different. This is the same. Let's put it very, very easy and simple words. That neurodiversity, it's actually biodiversity of our brains. It's our mental cognitive uniqueness. And that's why it's not weakness, it's uniqueness. So this term was coined by Judy Singer in 1998. She is a sociologist from Australia. And by presenting this term, she was challenging the traditional approach to neurological differences. That she said it's not pathological, and instead she framed that these differences are valued and very valuable. Right? So for me, when I discovered that, I'm like, all of a sudden, like, oh my God, wait a bit. I'm not disordered. I'm not disabled. I'm not broke. It's not something wrong with me. It's not what I have to fix all the time to fit the system. But actually, I'm unique. And this is so true. Many people with neurodivergent traits, they are so unique. They have these superpowers. So for me, then it became like really passionate advocacy, how this, discovery on myself I can bring to the world, living my story, sharing boldly my story. That's why I'm doing every single time when I have opportunity. And that's why I started my show, as well. I have also a podcast show, which I call not podcast, but Pitchcast. I already shared it with you because I started in my pajama in mental institution. It's true.
And you're still wearing pajamas if you were to stand up.
Yes. Look at me, guys. Snoopy. You love Snoopy, right?
I love her.
Diversity. Not just preaching and talking, but working and working. Why not? Everybody can start. Everybody has a unique voice. Please, guys, don't be super prepared. Super trained, something. Be yourself. Every single person is unique voice and really deserve to be listened. So please just put the button, come to me, DM. I can teach you. It's not easy, like everything in the world. Of course, you have to work, but we can help you with being yourself and sharing your story. And now I have 2 ears, 1 mouth, and I always talking. My God, I have to listen. Even now, I have to listen your questions, Catalina. So say, Valeriya, stop.
No, don't stop. You're amazing. I love it. Like for the new
I'm a Chinese machine. Put 50 cents and I can talk 24 when I'm inspired. And I'm so inspired by you, You're my inspirational flame many months. This is so true. So, but now, like my Fontana, I have to, Next question.
No. People like you are rare. I'm telling you. Guys, before we hopped on the podcast, we had a little talk before. Oh my gosh. I feel like we're soul sisters. She's such a beautiful, you guys got to follow Valeriya for sure. So for the podcasters, the new podcasters, because you just touched on, you gave some advice. I have some friends that are they're trying to get into podcasting, but they don't feel prepared enough, and they have that fear, the fear of failure. What do I need? What if I'm not prepared enough? And so they're just kind of stalling. They borrow the equipment, they lease the building, and they're still not starting. And I'm like, I don't know what else to tell you guys. Like, I don't know why you're waiting for. Like, what are you waiting for? So what would you tell them? Like, how can they be motivated?
Wow, great question. And actually, I was already thinking to be like even podcast coach sometimes, because how I have already started sharing. The most important that to feel that your voice is valuable, right? And like I said, we are 8.5 almost billion people, and we are so different. And I am so sure that everybody has really purpose, mission, vision by God here, and that's why we are so beautiful. That's why every story should be listened to, and we can always cross-pollinate each other by our experiences. So it's really, first of all, to be in alignment with yourself, that you are so unique, your voice is so precious, and you don't have to be prepared, because nobody can be prepared for anything. Time is coming, and all the interaction with people, with situations, with circumstances is common, and sometimes 80% they are unpredictable. We kind of can have plans, but we know the greatest plan is actually by God, and just He knows the plan for us. So basically, to be prepared, you can just trust yourself, find intuition that and maybe just start sometimes, like the best idea coming the way while you're walking, actually, because if you are open, you have this approach to the world, to be with open mind. Like in mindfulness, they have this expression, the mind of beginners, or even the mind of a child, right? They are radically curious, they don't judgmental, because we are the harshest judges of ourselves. That stops us all the time, because if we believe that, no, you know what, everything can happen, but so what? Everything is happening with everybody all the time. This is the beauty of it, to show. Even my shows sometimes, like, I really encourage people to feel less possible distance between them and me. So I am totally guys like you. It can be like breakage in the line. You see, I can be in my pajama. My dog can come. I don't know, hundreds of my all-inclusive package, my parents, my kids, my husband, everything can happen. That's why we actually so related. We are the same human beings. We share the same lives. So I think this is the beauty, right? And people can immediately like feel, oh, look, if she started that, and actually she's the person like me, and even with much more challenges. And believe me, I have gone through a lot. And if you, by the way, the advice from not me, Winston Churchill, I have borrowed. If you go through hell, keep going. Just keep going. It will be better. So please feel maybe a little bit niche about exactly what really is, like, your purpose and your calling inside, what you would like. And then actually the feedback is golden gems. You will get the feedback from your guests. You will always like kind of start feeling, oh, this is better. Just to be open and not judgmental towards yourself, because it will be very harsh if you should approach yourself from criticizing, but there is always something to be better with, right? Perfectionism, it's killer. It is killer, because you have to compare with another people. And Einstein said the greatest thief of joy is comparison. Don't do that, right? So
True.
It would be because you believe I was prepared. Come on, guys, I was in mental institution in pajama. I was not prepared at all.
Yes, let's repeat that. Let's repeat that, how you started a podcast.
I started my Pishcast guide, Valeriya Hjertenæs, Mrs. World Congeniality. I started my podcast, which I call Pishcast, Being in Pajama in Mental Institution, suffering from OCD, depression, anxiety, severe episodes. My very first friend and guest, Brooks, actually shout out to you. He inspired me so much. Brooks Newmark, he knew my challenges, but because of this energy and the authentical, actually, wish to help people by being myself. That you have to start to open your show. I said, like, now here in pajama, and I said, yes, now here, and I will be your first guest. And this guy, he really, and he knows actually also this path because he was struggling with depression, anxiety, childish trauma, but at the same time he has been serving as a minister for social educational system in the Great Britain, right? So he was the very first guest when I was in my pajama. Guest, I don't know, more authentically cannot be, right, guys? So please just start. It doesn't matter what. Maybe not in the toilet, but some hotels, like Four Seasons in Paris, they have so beautiful toilets actually. Much more beautiful than Scandinavian IKEA design in many apartments. So maybe even there. Why not?
Just start anywhere.
Just start it. Just press this button.
I love it. And where can people follow your podcast?
Yes, the name of my podcast, Diversity is the Game Changer. And I was even, I was talking, I'm still talking, of course, about diversity of thoughts, but I'm touching on neurodiversity in every single shows, and just very briefly again inspire people and repeating my story, not like taking all the place from the star which I'm facilitating the arena for. Sometimes struggling still because I talk a lot. Even that was my struggle, guys, because I was like, what? How can I start the show if I'm always like talking? How they actually can try to break down this? So that's why I put special like sign here. All my first still do that. Like it means like, Valeriya, don't talk. Don't. I'm like, oh shit, don't talk.
Really?
Yes. So diversity is the game changer now. It's on YouTube, and usually I'm inviting people on Instagram. I'm always loving interacting directly. So please feel more than welcome to write message, direct message. I always answer myself. And yes, and if you need any help, more inspiration, more Pishka's story, yes, just welcome. Please.
I love it. Now back to the neurodiversity, and I'm going to pronounce it correctly this time.
No, I love it. No, we just should patent that. Neurodiversity.
Yeah, we should, because you do need to get on that. I'm telling you.
Exactly. I love
But
it.
back to that, why were you in the mental institution? Like, what happened? What brought you there? And when did you realize, like, oh shit, something is wrong with me?
Yeah, thank you so much for this profound question. Actually, I love that idea to share it more and more. And this morning, I was actually interviewed by a team where I wrote my very first book, and they were asking me how was it actually to revisit these moments, because the chapter was from OCD to PhD, the journey between patient and doctor, and to 5E. But I found myself first time for almost 17 years ago. Yes, it's exactly why I remember, because it was the time right after the first time I have adopted a baby from Ukraine. It was very challenging procedure actually to adopt because of documents, because of a lot of counseling from other people that I should never adopt these kids because they had special needs. So it was really a special moment in my life. But when actually everything has been done and we were celebrating this, just 1 week later, I had my baby. I was happy in the marriage. I was back in Ukraine and surrounded by my family. And all of a sudden, I started getting these intrusive thoughts. But at that time, I did not know what meant intrusive thoughts, actually. It's OCD traits. And these thoughts, they are usually so intense, and they are not your typical thoughts. They don't define you. And I had no idea at that time that actually our thoughts, they can never define us, because we can detach from that, but we have to practice it. We are, guys, maybe for me it was also opening. For somebody who doesn't know, please, can you please gain more information? Just type it in the Google. We are not our thoughts. We are not our emotions. We can train actually just to be observer, because our brain is getting all these impulses and information from all surroundings, how many millions of really it just intense impulse, and we cannot control, we can just control how we approach and engage ourselves towards these thoughts and patterns. So for me it was, how could I know that? I believe always that, okay, if I see something, if I think something, it actually me, inside me, it's my conscious, it's my subconscious, right? And I started seeing actually intrusive thoughts after being working voluntarily and helping in the orphanage in Ukraine many years. I do love kids. I did serve and was, I don't know, it was my mission in my life since I was a kid to come back to my country one day and adopt babies. And I've done that. And I started getting intrusive thought that I was harming babies. Can you imagine? It was first very thought that I was damaging the baby I loved all over the world. It was the scariest moment in my life because I went to the church, I was crying, I was praying 2 days, 2 nights, and I was talking to a priest. He did not know actually, of course, what is OCD, but he helped me as he could. But the patterns was development, like I believed I was not worthy to live, because if I actually got these thoughts, I believe that it would be proceeding into the actions. And of course, as much as you battling any type of thoughts and fears and intrusive thoughts, they will be even more active. It's like the same, don't think about red elephant, right? Or don't think about, then actually you will be doing everything and in the reverse coming and will be reminded about this element. So it's exactly what's happened to you. If you have any kind of thoughts that really so intense, please actually don't try to escape. Like I said, if you go to hell, go towards your fear. It's the same actually, phobia. If you're ready to fly, you have to start flying. If you're ready to take the elevator, you have to take elevator, but just bit by bit, you should really expose yourself. Then there are less and less and less fear actually. Then your brain start understanding they are not real actually, right? But how I could not know that. So for me, it was devastating to find myself many years ago having a baby first time, adopted a baby with special needs, which needed a lot of attention from me, from mother. But mother cannot even approach because I start getting these very special triggers, very intensive thoughts. But when you have OCD or neurodivergence, it's actually signals of your brain that your brain is so cognitive overloaded. It's so huge change for your nervous system and so rapidly that you just need a help. But you are not the bad person. It's just your brain are so sensitive and wired differently. That's why you have to know, you have to understand how you should engage with your brain. It's differently. I didn't know that, but thanks God I lived partly in Norway. And when I came here, like I have already shared with you, Catalina, I'm so happy that I found myself that I'm not actually lonely in all of this. Of course, it was depression and anxiety and a lot of, bad self-advocacy and self-limiting beliefs. And I was crying. It was like 1 year. I don't remember even one single day I was not crying. Every single day. But I also made in Soviet actually, and for us it was always taboo, stigma, actually even to pronounce that you have to go to mental institution. And my husband, thanks to him, he was so encouraging. He said, Valeriya, here in Norway, Scandinavia, we have so great understanding because many people suffer from dark depression. We don't have sun here. And he said that here it's not like mental institution, really. It's kind of institution that they try to help you to be centered and to find out the root. And they even don't wear this medical clothes, not put yourself in special environment. So he said that, and you're open and you actually always can leave. It's not like, so let's try. So we drove there, and then they explained me what was going on with me, that OCD, and it's kind of post-traumatic depression, which actually usually mothers after birth can experience that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for me, it was for 17 years ago, first time, and then I said yes. First, I said yes to try this treatment couple of days, but then actually I understood more and more, because one point of time in my life, I became crazy. I would never ever be a normal person again, because if you have these loops all the time, how you can actually believe that one day you can be awakened, and those thoughts actually, they, like, it's always like a battle. What is more intense, these intrusive thoughts or your normal thoughts, right? Not neurotypical thoughts. So it's very scary if you don't know that. But that's why I'm so boldly open now and honest with people, and especially with my kids as well, because Gen Z, they're suffering so much now from mental issues. It's scaling, it's rocket scaling all the time. And I even can see among their friends how many kids are really suffering. But because in our family, it's open subject, right? So I'm so proud that my kids, they even know that their friends suffering, but it's taboo subject in their family. So they ask my mom, can we take friends to the dinner in our home and you can explain what is neurodiversity? Yes, that it's not weakness, but it's strength. And it's actually very, very strong and awareness to talk openly about that and ask about, I need help. My brain is so like overloaded, and that. So I'm very proud that we have this open conversation, and I'm very also proud that I dare to start my podcast, right, and talking about neurodiversity so openly now. And actually, it also became the part of my research, PhD research, together with Stanford Ecosystem. They have neurodiversity faculty, which is quite new, actually, just 3 years old. And Professor Dr. Lawrence Funk, he is in charge of that. It's also his personal story because his son is autistic on the spectrum, and he wanted to find out how to help the son, and he started this initiative. Yes. We are working together. I was participating in a Global Neurodiversity Summit last September, and now it's a very nice tradition. It's already, by the way, open calls for keynote speakers. For next Neurodiversity Global Summit, it will be in September at Stanford.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, you're so much like, you're like this thing that just you keep peeling, like Miss Congeniality, the Norwegian University of Science and Technology, the PhD, the so many master's degrees, and now you're doing, I'm like, and the successful podcaster, and this, most of all, this amazing human being that adopted two children, and it's just so much to you. I'm like, I don't even know where to start, but I'm trying to think, what do you think causes these children to have depression in this day and age?
Yeah, I think we should. Oh my God, this is also one of my greatest mission and passionate advocacy. I think there are so many choices now they have to take because of social media, press all the time. Really, we have to do something really radically. We have to change the system, how they engage with all this press they are experiencing, because all the time they just open like Instagram or TikTok, right? All this information, it's so much noise for these poor brains. It's so much information they have to digest all the time. And can you imagine about speed execution of this signal? Our brain, I am studying also neuroscience, it's part of neurodiversity, are not wired and designed by nature to proceed all this volume of information with this speed. It's not. It is too much. It's really cognitive overload. It's noise all the time. And we are always on the screen, right? Yes. We have all answers in the nature. Why actually we have day and night? Why we have night? This is the answer, because our brain actually should not be overstimulated. It should rest. That's why it should be darkness, right? That's why actually, yes, we found the fire. It helped us to, to be safe from predators, everything, to get heating and to food. But we actually don't have to use artificial light. It's actually what is not useful for our brains at all. And can you imagine how much actually we are causing and harming ourselves? And Gen Z, they even don't know another type of life, right? They're all the time overstimulated and all this, and they have to make choices so quickly and so many. They're like bumped of all this information all the time. And it's so depressive because they have to compare themselves also. They don't understand even that these pictures, curated, filtered, masked, and everything, they are so artificial. Life doesn't function like that at all. But they have kind of this stimulants all the time to be in comparison with something which is perfect or like iconic or ideal. It doesn't exist even in the nature, right? But their brains start like getting crazy of all these choices. And I really mean, we parents, we are responsible. We have to make really conscious choices every day to use much more time just to sit with them and listen, ask something and listen, be present, be focused. Like, please, can you put aside your phone? Let's talk. How are you? And pause. Not like, how are you? And you just go and, or you drive or you text or something. No, because they know also probably when you like passing by, running by, because you're busy, because you're keeping busy to be busy, that you even don't have time to listen to your teenager, right? Maybe he has something or she has something in their heart, but it's so vulnerable and sensitive. Maybe it should be really like this calm bridge. Then mama or papa, stop, pause, breathe, don't react, and just listen. Do we do that? No. We're like, okay, how is it? Everything okay? Okay, I have to do this, and that's maybe you should like sometimes really pause and like, how are you? And just freeze and look and maybe even pause. Because sometimes teenagers, it takes time for them to open themselves, and they are so sensitive. They feel immediately, are you actually now in the state of even listening? We don't listen anymore. So, I mean, we have to be role models for them, because our kids, they are not copying they are not doing what we are saying. They are copying what we are doing, how we're acting. And we should be these role models that, no, I can put aside everything. I have time for you now. Let's actually sit, use our time. We are not in a rush, and I really would like to know, how are you? What's going on? Not maybe just with you, what's going on with your friends. Maybe you could notice something that somebody at your school struggling, maybe these patterns, like maybe that. Let's think together, right? So it takes time, of course, takes efforts for us. But we're also lazy sometimes. Do we have this time? We're like, oh no, we have thousands of tasks. We like the rest. We want also one more problem, right? So I mean that we have. It starts from us, from grown-ups, because we know that at least we can do something with that, right? They already, new generation. They kind of try to navigate with their like actually unmature emotional system. They don't know how to even engage with their energy patterns, right? Emotional regulation, mental fitness. They are not there yet. But we already know that you have so many choices, that we should really try to spend time and talk and explain. I think this is the most important that parents can do now. It should start from actually us.
Dang. That is. And what about the new, say, people are looking into adoption, but now they're just hearing, oh my gosh, we're so busy. We do want to adopt, but we're getting this advice to also spend all this time that we don't really have. Maybe we shouldn't adopt. Maybe they're at that crossroad. Like, what should they do? Because now they're going to feel overwhelmed. Should they give up until they're ready to actually do it right, or should they go with it and they'll find time? What is the advice? Because you've been there, and you know adopting is a hell of a hustle. It's a lot.
My God, Catalina, thank you so much. You are saying that, because every single morning I have my rituals. It's praying and it's gratitude meditation. And every single evening after actually the day with a lot of changes and stimuli, right? But I still try to find at least 5 times I can be still grateful for. And I also normal person, my brain is like this. Of course, if I open some gadgets, actually it's immediately trapped to be compared with somebody who has achieved more, or like, all that stuff. But every single morning I like artificially pull myself back and remind myself, Valeriya, if before you had probably found yourself to be chasing the reasons why I hate I have to be grateful for, or why I don't have to be compared with somebody else. But now I don't have all these reasons, because I'm talking to myself. I'm already the most, I don't know, strongest, bravest, and luckiest person in the world, because I have adopted 2 kids. I have saved 2 kids, right? And for me, it's like, yes, maybe people, they want 2 Oscars or Grammys, or yes, it's their destination, their choice. I'm not putting my energy to compare myself, and I am not going outside and actually, like you put in that for advertisement. It's, again, I'm just sharing now, like how they can check if it's something for them. But I'm actually talking to just to myself, right? Then it's not about bragging, just me towards me.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wow. And sometimes I believe, how could I actually even execute? I was just 30 years old. But again and again, I think about being a mother, father, a parent. It's actually a mission by God. Because when I was hesitating also myself about adopting, I was very close to one priest in Kiev. And one day he asked me, Valeriya, before we go tomorrow, and then we will continue our service and praying about you finding the kids or you become a mother. Then he asked me, can you please, it's just you that can give me this answer, not for anybody else, just you have to know for yourself, for your soul. Would you like to give a birth, or you would like to be a mother? I'm like, what? He's like, you understand? It's completely 2 different things. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you can give a birth to 10 kids and never became a mother. You don't have to have kids in your belly, but you can be the greatest mother of all. What actually is your purpose in this life? Can you go home, pray, sleep over, come to me when you're ready? Because this is questions that it's not for me. It's between you and God, and he already knows your mission. And then I came home, and I was like praying and sleep. And next morning I came to him and said, I want to become a mother. And it doesn't actually matter if I have these kids in my belly or not, because God already knows who are actually my kids, because I do believe they're angels, which is actually decided by him on the sky, on the heaven. And how it happened, he knows already. He will be leading me. He's like, then you have all the answers. Let's go and pray. And can you imagine, Catalina, it was Saturday, very big service in Kiev. Next Wednesday, the week later, I came back home to my native city. And like I've shared with you already, it was a very special service in the orphanage. One priest came with this holy water, and we made this service. And the very first Wednesday after, actually, I figured out self, I met now she's Michelle, 17 years old. At that time, she was 7 months, Anastasia. That's it. So you kind of already know everything yourself, and every single person, actually, this set of answers already inside you. It's actually you. It's, believe it, in everything. It just, if you sometimes pause, breathe, and can ask question to yourself. Like he told me, don't answer me. He said, I'm priest. I know what I'm doing on this earth. You should answer yourself, your soul. What would you like, to be a mother or to give a birth? And when my kids, they were 9 years old, they came to me from school one day and started asking, like, Mama, was it painful to give a birth? Was it painful to give a milk? Was it painful to do that and that? How it's actually... And then I understood, because we were preparing actually with psychologists, with priests, local priests, how, when it came to this special, very important subject and term, when they start asking. So then it's also, you cannot actually cheat, you cannot hide. Then I really put them, and I spend maybe 3 or 4 hours, and I explain the same. There are difference between real mother and mother. Mother can have you in a belly, but actually don't become a real mother. Or you don't have actually to have baby in the belly, but you have always them in heart, and God decides when actually this angel should be in your heart. And I told them that you are my angels by God. He already knew. They still actually know this story. And now they're 17 years old, and now they came all the time like, Mama, you know what? We know that you don't have to, it's by angels, it's decided by God. And people, like, they come and ask me advice about adoption. I already shared with you before we started the show that, Valeriya, how did you choose them? Right? Because even you have to fill the scheme, Catalina, when you want to adopt. You should put gender, age, whether these kids should be with diseases or, some special needs. And it's also marked that they cannot split kids, because if it's siblings, it's not allowed, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then I remember I was sitting like this, like, sorry, am I choosing the car? Am I buying the car here? Like, color, motor, age. How should I? This is nonsense for me. It's like, first of all, I know he already knows. I don't know. It's a boy, it's a girl. What is age or something? I have no idea, because he has already decided for me, and it's not like you really can like change or adjust. I think that so many people, they ask me, I said, you know what? If it's your mission, it's you will feel immediately, and nobody can stop you even. Because many people, they stopped me, especially when I wanted to adopt the first kid, because she is not this gifted with this beautiful wrap and ribbons and everything. It was everything what actually should not be actually for adaptation, right? But I felt that's it. She was in my heart. She was decided by God. So for me, it was not like contract or anything. So this is hard. This is just between all the answers in your side, in yourself. Just pause, breathe, and actually ask yourself, because we are never in silence now. We don't talk. We're afraid of silence, right? But like, okay, am I actually here to be adoptive parent? Because I am not judgmental at all. Not everybody, of course, for this mission. It's very, very hard. It's difficult. But I think to be a parent, actually, it's difficult anyway. But at the same time, it's beautiful, because how can you prepare yourself to be a parent without being a parent? Because it's also, when you are a parent, you still actually hesitating all the time and learning all the time, and you're improvising. When I was 30 years old, did I know how to be a mother? How can you practice that? No, you can't. You have to improvise and follow your heart. That's it.
That is so beautiful. And especially like you survived your experience with OCD. You've actually, the two children, one being like, how can, like, say if I wanted to adopt a child with special needs, and of course the career has to be put on pause. I have to focus on the child, right? Because you can't have both, because it's not like you have to really, it's a lot more time consuming, because you have to dedicate yourself to the child. Ooh, what is that like? Is it I'm assuming it's a lot easier to adopt a child with special needs than some like a child that everybody wants to adopt, right? So you don't have to wait as long. What is like the process? You go there and you go to, do you have to go to an orphanage, or do you go to, like, you just sign, because you mentioned like you have to sign a contract and you have to pick, like, as if you were to buy a car, so it's kind of awkward. But like, how long does that take? Do you have to go visit the child because you were in a different country? And I would like to adopt from Romania. So what is like that process? Like, if I wanna adopt, do I fly there first? And
thank you so much for this question, actually. And it is very long, profound, and process. Actually, it is different for every single country, because for me, the first adaptation was a little bit easy in the sense that I still had Ukrainian citizenship, though I lived in Norway. But citizenship was like more important than actually permanent residence. And by the law, I had actually really high special advocates and everything. But I was also like, even in this path, I had no idea. I was like improvising and walking all this terrain without knowing, because I believe if I lived in Norway, I have to apply from Norway. And then, oh my God, they say, first of all, in Norway, just 9 countries you can adopt from. And Ukraine is not that country. Because, yes, because between 2 countries, it should be signed in Hague in this court. in Netherlands, which country can actually adopt from another country. Because if you don't have this agreement between country, you are actually kidnapping a kid. It's not allowed. So for us, it was no brainer. It was not allowed for Norwegian citizens. It's not allowed to adopt Ukrainian kids. But my lawyer found that like a special way, because I still was Ukrainian citizen. But in our law, they say that citizenship is like more important, because you can change the country, you can get divorced, you can move back to Ukraine. Nobody can stop you. If you're Ukrainian citizen, you have officially permission to adopt a Ukrainian child. But then it's another step. We had so many steps that I have to sign and take permission from my husband, because he's Norwegian. And yes, and I have like special agreement from here municipality, because I have afterwards to take this kid to live with me here, right? And we should like rejoin our family. So for us, it took almost 4 years.
My gosh.
And still many people, it's like 5 and 10 years. And I was so happy, because you know, when I took her out from orphanage, the first baby, she was 1 year old. And then I asked like Norwegian authority, but sorry, but where actually my kid should live and wait,
Man.
right? While you're
Yeah.
making all these documents. They said, it's not our business, because you never asked us actually that whether you should adopt or not, because in our like law, it's not allowed to adopt Ukrainian kids, that you should go back to your country and experience family time with your kid. I said, oh, okay. But I was happy enough that my parents still, they live there. So my baby first 3 years, she lived in Ukraine, and sometimes she could come to visit me like a visitor with visiting visa to Norway. So like you said, yes, I had to stop all my career, everything, because I was flying back and forth, me and my husband, all the time, because she also had special needs. So that's why now, maybe after so many years, I'm kind of hungry to start achieving my own goals, because I really put all the goals, achievements, all my like dreams, because the most important, you have to prioritize at that time, really. And in my situation, even it was even more challenging, right? Because I had to live between countries, and yeah, and there's all this OCD, and you cannot like really proceed one career, because you have to be consistent in one place. So it was the first experience. Then we want to adopt from Brazil, because it was allowed for Norwegian to adopt from Brazil, and we started the process. And even we like wrote, we don't care about age, about gender. If it's 2 kids that cannot be separated, it's okay. If it's 6 kids with special needs, it's okay. It's like after we adopted Michelle, we wanted more. But then we got the answer from embassy that it should be, it's very big age difference between us, me and my husband. And then it's not allowed, because if something happened with him, I should be a lonely parent. And then I was like, are you kidding me? It's still like better that they have a mother, and I already adopted 1 kid. That no, it was not allowed. Then we wanted adopted from Hungary, again through all these papers, and then they came back to us and said again that, oh no, you have already 4 kids, it's not allowed or something. This was crazy. So then I just had to go back again in Ukraine, and I still kept my citizenship and started all this process again with Nicole. And I knew it will be 4 years maybe, but what speeded up, because in 2014, you know, we had the first actually war accident started, and we are border to Crimea.
Yeah.
And we wrote the letter to Norwegian ambassador, because I used to also work as a head of cooperation project between Ukraine and Norway. And I knew the ambassador, and I said, like, even the way where was kindergarten for my kid, they found kind of several mines already. So it was very dangerous for me even to be there and like to take my new adoptive kid to the kindergarten. And I said, you really mean it that I should be living here? We experienced the war, and I find you accountable if something happens to my kid. And they gave us this, like, you know, special edition exclusive visa because of the war. we came to Norway, but she didn't have documents for school, for medical insurance, nothing. It took again 3 years. So it's crazy process. Yes, you have to really have so much patience in your heart and do believe it's your strong mission by God. Otherwise, it's very challenging. Yeah. It is, but it was it. It was it. It's. I don't know. Every single morning, my prayer and gratitude meditation. Like, I don't need all these Oscars, Grammy, whatever. I have Michelle and Nicole, so they are my. This is my mission by God, and I feel that I live every single day already not in vain. I'm doing something. I'm really doing something for this world, like not changing just by words, but really I put like bricks by bricks a little bit this puzzle, but I can see the result. They come from school, they're like, Mom, you're the best mom in our life. So that's, I think it's my mission here, though it's very challenging. Yes, but this is also the beauty of it. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, if I can inspire somebody, so. But I think, like I already meant that everybody has already actually answers inside them. They don't need actually all this. They can pick some guidance, gems of feedback if they put it like in gems, but they know actually, is it for me? It's not for me. Maybe.
Wow.
I don't know.
You said if I can inspire somebody, you already inspired me. I'm like, I've been thinking about adoption for a while, and now it's just like, maybe this is it. Maybe this was supposed to be. God put you here.
I can share so much, and I'm sure if you want, you can meet Michelle and Nicole. It's look here, like look, my husband and you see Michelle here.
It's a little bit more to the right. Oh, look how beauty! Oh,
it was actually many years ago. It was football soccer cup, and she was like mascot. You see, she's in this t-shirt. So like, yeah, I know that's what many people say, and say that she's drawing. It's them. Michelle and Nicole. Michelle made this drawing because she had this white hair and short hair. Nicole, she had this one.
And she made also the koala one, which
I can share.
Yes. Look at this, guys. Oh my gosh. She is good.
Yeah, she's very good. And look, this is Chanel. She made our Chanel.
Oh my gosh.
She's very, very talented. She struggles very much with the math and with the reading and writing.
Yeah, well, you can't have it all in life.
No, but she's very talented. She maybe cannot really express so much verbally, but we really nurture and flourish her strengths. She's horse whisperer, really. It's nice for her ADHD. She feel like really connection, and she draws all the time, especially when she feels very much overwhelmed. She's sitting and drawing at school, and everybody, they know, like, here to mom, love, like, It's actually, I moved from Paris, and I took it. I always have something that they do. So,
how talented is she? And who did your hair? You said Nicole did your hair, right?
Yeah, Nicole, she made my hair.
They're both talented.
And my makeup, everything, because I cannot do makeup and hair. But when she saw your picture, like, oh, Mama, Catalina,
that was 20 years ago.
So I have to do. I said, I said, no, Mama, of course, look. Actually, she was like, oh my God, where is she from? Las Vegas. So look, she's like, I want to style her one day. I said, we will manage it.
We'll meet. Yeah, you probably showed her a picture from 20 years ago, because I share some of those when I don't have content. I just put in photos.
I don't know. I have photos every day. So beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Nicole, yes, that's my Oscar. No, Oscars, Grammys, whatever. No, but like everything, I think actually, Katerina, you know yourself, everything which is really worthy, impactful in this life, it takes discipline, takes a lot of efforts, job, sacrifice, efforts, hesitation, scars, wounds, tears, everything, right? Nothing is coming, nothing just like that. So I don't know anybody who maybe if you get very easily, you actually are not appreciated so much, and you lose it very easily. Then you don't really feel even like connection with things. But if you really work so hard and achieve something, then nobody can take it from you. I think it's not just with actually adoption, with everything. You have to put all in, and your soul and like efforts. And I'm sure you know that the day, I mean, the place you're sitting now, everything what you have achieved, I bet nothing came to you like this. You have been working,
Yes.
right? And still every single day, just to make
True.
prioritizing and choices how to structure your day, right? It is already titanic job, right? What is really like false urgency, but you still feel stimulation. Oh, should I do this now? No, not this important. No, maybe this is important. Maybe this, like, you know,
Always
right?
like that.
Always like that, exactly. Like alarms everywhere. Like, oh my God, what should I start? What is more important? What should I pray? Where should I put my energy, my focus, my that and that? Because we live in this time of chaos, right? Before we had less choices, and maybe we didn't have all these opportunities, not like now, but actually we had so much clarity. At least for me, when I grew up in Ukraine, I had a lot of challenges, but still I had kind of this vision, mission to go forward. I didn't have all the time disruptions, like, okay, should I do that and that and that, right? But now you and me, we have like how many decisions we should take during the day?
Yeah, it's wild. And I don't know if it's hard for me, but you have your parents, you have the kids, you have your husband, you have your career.
Dog.
And the dog.
Tie my pajama pants. They are my, like, sustainable partners.
Yes.
My God.
And you know what? We didn't talk about the 5E enablers method, because you have that too. What is what did it actually like come from, and what kind of problem does it solve? Because that's one thing we need to talk about. That's important.
Yeah, we can go briefly. Actually, it's so powerful because it's what I'm using now every day myself. It's actually, you can even draw, because many neurodivergent people, we are so visual, right? And not just in text. It's actually engine or wheel. It's a regenerative, it's circle human-centered framework, that 5 enablers that actually you can pick up one of each. Just pause. It's so easy. You don't have to really memorize something, but even to print and have it on your desk or somewhere. I have it now here. Like, and check up during the day, just even to calm down your cognitive overload all the time, because we also feel false urgency that we are late, we don't perform, we have hundreds of tasks, but actually where we should pull our focus, and we always feel like, okay, I'm not good enough, I don't perform this, like, 100%. But this is actually pathway from unconscious performance to conscious leadership. But we have to start with self-leadership, self-governance, self-advocacy, self-empowerment, right? That's why how we can actually empower other people. And for me, the most important, it's the first E is empathize. It is so important now in our time, because especially for neurodivergent people, we are so used to overperform, overmask, overhide, overplease, because we are so ashamed. We have to fit in. I'm sure you also, like me, people pleaser, healer, right? Because you feel everything, you have to help your giver, and then it's fragile edge between just giver and people pleaser, right? Especially if you're from Romania, we are from Ukraine, we are taught from very, very young age, we have to serve everybody but for us.
Yes.
Right. This is so true. But empathize, and real empathy should start from actually greatest empathy towards yourself, because we are our most harsh criticizers, but we should start that actually we should operate from being, like, harsh towards us ourselves, but actually to be our greatest ally. And it's very difficult, because you have to talk to yourself as you would be talking to your best friend. Are we doing that? No. So empathizing is so very important, like towards self-leadership, but also if you're actually a high achiever and top executive, and you have your neurodivergent or actually diverse workforce, right? You should not approach from judgmental approach. You should really also be so curious about different people and know, and even to be aware and deep conscious that all people, even their brains, can perceive the world differently. And it's not just because they're worse or better, because their brains are wired differently. Even like communication can be for them considered totally differently. You believe you actually put structure, clear information there, but for people with for autistic people, it can be totally different, right? So it's to be aware, but you have to operate from empathy, not from judgmental approach. Then the second, it's evolve. We should evolve every single day, right? We should learn. We should be open to new knowledge, but also it's very important. We should unlearn what is not actually good for us anymore, because how many patterns actually really, and the seeds were planted when we had childish trauma or generational trauma or something, and we go on these patterns on autopilot all our life. So sometimes I learned that actually unlearning some old patterns which don't serve you anymore, more difficult than to learn something new. It's how we should evolve, right? Then again, we should be actually open to new knowledge. And then for that, we should, the third one is evaluate. It's actually, I've mentioned already, is this golden gem of feedback. If you don't put them and treat them as barriers, but actually as bridges, people, circumstances, every interaction give you direct feedback all the time, where you can actually evolve in your potential. But you should stop again, not react, respond, just sit in silence and even talk to yourself. How I can actually learn from this situation? How can I evaluate what kind of feedback I've got from this situation or from this person, right? How can I use it as an actually bridge for potential growth and not for like barriers? So then fourth, it will be enhance. Then you can enhance your clarity, decision making, emotional regulation, energy patterns reading, mental fitness, emotional regulation, self advocacy, self trust, right? And then you can, last one, it's self empowerment. By all this process, you can really empower yourself, and by empower yourself, then you can empower others. Because empowerment is awareness plus responsibility. And when you have all these five, they kind of circle. You can just sit sometimes and like, okay, pull one ear today, evaluate. Okay, feedback. Did I get any feedback today? Of course I get from this situation. How can I use it? How can I learn this lesson? Or is it, okay, empathize. Am I actually talking to myself as I'm my biggest empathizer, or I'm still back to like negative narrative, right? So you already, just a couple of minutes actually. It's how you build yourself as aware and deep conscious leader. Because leadership is stewardship, leadership is visibility, visibility is responsibility all the time. Wow. And by being aware that you're responsible and you're visible, and then people will be really watching you and they feel your energy. And it's on this way in how they actually can stay loyal with your company, right? How they can perform, how they can feel psychological safety you provide by being yourself. And then all these neurodivergent patterns, actually, they can really be turned to superpowers. Because many people with neurodivergent, they have this very special, like system thinking, right? And patterns recognition, deep, sustained focus. Like you can be really obsessed with something to find new solution. Maybe you also can find yourself in this. If you're really obsessed with something, right? Wow, you can, like, how can I get it, right? So this is so much which can be really treated like superpowers. And then everything that goes to the organizational sustainability performance. But it starts from the human-centered leadership, self-leadership, right? So that's what I'm teaching. It's quite a profound, actually deep work. And many leaders in the beginning, when I'm talking, they're like, oh my God, no, I want this shortcut. Can you teach me what I have to do to get my numbers? That, you know what? We all want to change the world. We don't want to change ourselves. Sorry, it doesn't work like that. It should be grounded, puzzle by puzzle work, but it should start with you. From yourself, yes. Because if you don't evolve, if you don't change, because everything is changing so rapidly now, especially with AI, nobody's sitting and waiting and questioning, do you want to evolve or develop or not? Nobody's asking you. You have to, or you're behind. You're a loser. You have to.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's true. It's so true. Let's think about so like a leader or a company, right? Like what did it look like before they worked with this framework? And what was the first thing that changed after they worked with the framework?
Yeah, amazing, because actually it is like I said, now the future of leadership is awareness and it's adaptability and being really conscious about that. Now top executives and achievers and actually organizational performance, now it's not at executive level, not anymore about profit status, title, and even speed of execution. Now it's more and more about quality of the decisions they can make, and especially under uncertainty and really pressure. And then they understand that those people, neurodivergent people, they have core strengths actually, and they, like I already mentioned, system thinking, risk intelligence, deep analytical focus, right? That's why I advocate that when they aware about it, they can really provide psychological safety, just even, by opening themselves, that they are know that all neurodivergent people, they have different requirements, and sometimes small adjustments can really lead to powerful impacts. Even that I am know and I'm approaching you from like curious point of view, but not judgmental, and I can ask you, how actually can I help? Is any adjustments I can provide you that you can do that? And then scale another type of work. It can be hybrid solutions, right? It can be another, because some people night owl, some people like morning people, right? It's a lot of, it can be small change, but it's about impact of awareness, that you can communicate really clear that I'm here for you, I hear you, I see what you need actually, and I want to help you, how we can co-create in togetherness. I think it's more and more about awareness of the high achievers, but then they should go through this little bit deep work, like so I think this is, and adaptability, I would say, not like adopt, but adapt to everything that is changing all the time. And the future is really propelled by people who think differently, right? It was always like that, actually. Einstein, Thomas Edison, now like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, everybody. I mean, like, we all propel the society, we engineer new solutions, complex solutions, but we don't fit in really. But when leaders understand that, no, it doesn't work like that, that all these people have to fix their brains to fit in the neurotypical system, we also should meet their not requirements, but maybe needs. And it can be the streets with two ways, and we can mix and co-create together, right? Because otherwise it will be really challenging to co-create with Gen Z, because can you imagine statistically in millennials, every seventh person is neurodivergent.
Damn.
Actually, but and it's who actually is identified. Can you imagine how many people in the country, like China, Africa, Bangladesh, all this, they can never ever get access to be diagnosed or identified. And in Gen Z, every fifth person is neurodivergent. So awareness about that, this is the key for leadership and sustainability, organizational performance. It is.
Man. And because I know you did a lot of research, what do you think causes that? You're just born with it, or is it some vaccine that causes it? What causes this?
I think it's combination. Of course, your brain is wired differently, like autistic spectrum or other type of spectrum, dyslexia, dyspraxia, OCD, ADHD. You're born with that, right? But we know more and more now, we're studying neuroplasticity, and we know that we can at a certain level rewire actually our brain functions. It's not like totally we can change it, of course not, but we can change how we engage with our brains and actually understanding how it works. Exactly, awareness, like I said, it changed a lot. We can really execute mental fitness, but environment, how we have already said about social media, a lot of noise, stimulation. Just look what is happening now in political situation, right? We live in the most challenging time. It's unstable, it's chaos, it's unpredictability. And it's a lot of many workplaces more and more require like constant multitasking, unpredictable changes, rapid social processing, unstructured communications, right? And for many for normal neurotypical people, it's very challenging, right? It's burnout all the time. You really don't know. You have so many tasks, where to pull your attention, where to pull your focus, how not to be burned out, how to structure, how to actually manage your energy. Where just to breathe and pause and rest, we can't do that. So, but especially for neurodivergent people, they need clarity, structured goals, deep focus. They need predictable environments, psychological safety. It's very, very challenging. And I think social media, one of the
Back to
causes.
that, yeah.
Unfortunately, we're back to back that we are so much in brain all the time, 80%, right? We have to be more back to the nature, right? Are we actually in Norway and in Scandinavia? We don't have anything which is open on the Sundays. Then people kind of has no many choices, so we actually go to the nature every Sunday with kids, and I think we should really reduce our time, have digital detox, yes, and everything, because this is pandemic. This is really pandemic, and we have to be more and more aware and make our conscious choices how to really structure our day, because we know from these small puzzles and discipline and structure actually comes big outcomes, right? We have to be just aware how to navigate this, and especially that we can be good, like I've said already, example for our teenagers.
Oh my gosh. I literally, I came into this conversation thinking we were gonna talk about organizational frameworks only, which we did, but my gosh, I did not expect to walk away with thinking differently about my own mind and wanting to adopt. And I think that's the gift you give. You make people look at themselves and see something they missed. And you've provided so much amazing wisdom and just such a beautiful episode. I am and thank you for being on Open Up, and that, thank you for opening up. And I know we are coming to, I think, the top of the hour, so I don't want to hold you up because I know how busy you are.
No, it's about everything actually. At the end of the day, about prioritizing, right? For things and people you really love, you always have time, always, right? Because it's not like, oh, okay, I will try to find time. No. Now in this world, it's not about finding time. It's about making time. Because if you prioritize, you will always make time for that. This is how we should actually operate. But do I do all the time? I'm so spilling all these wise gems. I'm trying, really trying, to walk my path. But at least, okay, we all have potential, right? At least, yeah, to try also, to show up. It's all, sometimes we live in so challenging, complex world that requires so much from us every single day. So sometimes really that we just talk about that. It means already you and me, we are reflecting all that. It's already so much, because so many people, they never stop and question themselves. All autopilot, just like that. And then burn out completely. Why? Because never a little bit, even engine for the car. Can you imagine if you just drive? It doesn't work like that. Even high super perform cars, they should stop and rest, right?
For sure.
We forgot that actually we're even human being. Come on.
Yeah. It's so true, man. And I'm trying to think, what was it? Was this something that we forgot to promote? Is there anything that we need to talk about that I omitted? Because I'm so just wow. I was amazingly overwhelmed with so much amazing information and wisdom that I don't want to miss anything. We any links that we want to share?
We should, like I said, be operational, also promote. No, I think the most important, we can just encourage people, inspire really to understand that there is nothing which is actually can limit them. There is nothing which can really stop them, and it's never too late. It's never too I don't know, too low, or it's nothing to be ashamed of. We all have flaws. We all can make mistakes. We're here actually to write own stories, and we are the writers of the stories who nobody was writing exactly your story before. It's totally okay to be improviser, and God knows that we all are walking this path, and it's challenging, of course. That's why, but the greatest I think achievements actually comes from our greatest moments of adversity and from our scars. But we cannot avoid our scars, right? But at the same time, they remind us at the end of the day, oh my God, because of that, I actually went to the next step of my life, or maybe next like spiral, like, next stage. It's maybe I had to go through this first, then I could elevate. So maybe the greatest advice we could give actually from the whole conversation, that we are so unique, and actually it's a trap to be compared, because now I think really many people, they struggle with self-picture and self-confidence, because they pulled in this trap of social media all the time, that they have to perform, they have to achieve, they have to be this perfect, ideal, iconic. But who's actually know what is perfect, what is actually the best? Because for everybody else, actually their own happiness, we cannot compete. Like, look at botanical garden. Why we love going there? Lily competes with roses? Never, right? They are flourishing, grown, loving themselves. That's why we actually love botanical gardens, because they are in togetherness so great. We should be like them. I love, actually, I'm this straight, but I do love actually get evidence that somebody really flourish. And when I can see your achievements, I always, when I have time, try, like, I'm so proud of you. I'm really happy. That inspires me. It means, like, okay, if you, I'm sure you have so many challenges, but you still choosing, like, persistent and show up. I know how much tremendous job and discipline you are putting everything you're doing. Of course I should celebrate you. You motivating me also, maybe sometimes just even to change my pajama. So I mean, like, look at botanical garden, right? We should be like them. We should learn from nature. Come on, Rosa and Daffodils, they are together. They're so close, and they're in together. They're so beautiful, right? We love bouquets because we love all these colors. And neurodiversity, it's colorful and powerful biodiversity of brains.
Yeah.
So all together, we should be ourselves, not compare, like complement each other, right? United, we're stronger. Yeah, I think so.
The thing is, you actually mean it, because I, like, nobody else on social media in all these years that I've had my podcast has shared my episodes as much as you did. And you don't even know me in real life. So I'm like, you really are a genuine, authentic person that doesn't just speak, oh, we should, promote each other, love each other, not compete. You're actually about it. Like, you really are. And yeah, I know you're going to be, the world's going to want to have you on all their podcasts, and you're going to be just, the world will know you. You're very special. And I'm honored to have had you on my podcast, because before everybody's going to get you on theirs.
Because even though, Catalina, it was so like, last thing I was, it's the pre-story, how it started, and it's Pishka's, this story. But now the very good friend of mine, actually, she's also pure, so beautiful inside out. Actually, I want you guys to be connected. It's the same tribe of frequencies and energy. Her name is Lisa Crusato. She's CEO and founder of City of Angels, one of the biggest film festival in Los Angeles.
Nice.
Yes, like 4 days every December. It's huge. It's international. They have presence in Cannes and London and everywhere. And believe me or not, she now she knows, of course, my story. She was in my podcast, and I also we are very close. We speak, like, we also encourage, support each other very much. But believe me or not, this podcast, which started there, won the prize, the Breakthrough Podcast of the Year. in this big
Wow.
festival. Yes. And
Amazing.
after, like, after when actually we got together, and I thanked her, and I shared the whole story of the podcast, because she didn't know, like, it started from pajamas, but when I applied, it was like anonymous. It's huge process that actually, and when it won, and she shared it with me, actually not she, but the committee, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I then found just who is CEO and president, and I gave her a message like directly after I found, and I said, you know what? I could never ever imagine that actually my PhD cast from mental institution should get this precious. Like, what? We have to talk. Yes, and she was on my show. I will connect you guys.
I love
She's
to, yeah.
amazing. She's like, Valeriya, it's beyond.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
cool.
won the I'm telling you, now I'm gonna have to tonight I'm gonna watch your latest episode. For sure.
Absolutely. So, yeah. So that's why actually maybe it will be also one of the gems we can share with audience. Please never underestimate, right, how it can actually impact. For me, it was never ever about awards or something, but even like in my wildest dream, I could never imagine this outcome, right? But people, because I shared maybe 3 or 4 episodes, yes, and then jury, they had to go, but of course they knew. No, you know what? Maybe she didn't know, but in every episode, actually, I share my story where I started my podcast. Yes, this is not true. They knew, of course, they knew that was mental institution. I'm not sure if she exactly, particularly, like CEO knew that, but jury who actually was, they knew that, because they were like, going through 4 episodes or 5. I shared with them, so they knew that.
Wow.
So this is another story, like, basically. So I mean, like, people, please just do it. Just feel your calling inside. If you sit in your kitchen, I don't know, or take your brush, or I don't know, whatever. Like, if you were a girl in Soviet, you have to invent yourself always. I had my brush. It was microphone. Yeah, I did you. Yeah, you remember yourself exactly.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So please do crazy things which really you have all these childish. We never should actually forget our inner child, right? We should be.
Yes.
So please take something, I don't know, and just go get it. The most important, we are here. We actually are present. We are channeling the energy. The one thing I want to specify, I want to say how much I am grateful. This is very important, and it's better to say one time more than less. It's never enough. People say, "Oh, okay." No, it's never enough, because especially in this noisy world, we have been discussing. It's about not finding time, making time. That you have really made your time for me. It means a lot. Really, you were listening to me with your tool. I could feel that you were really present listener. You were not like, okay, I'm just asking her just to be done this time. Just already when she is answering, I already know what to answer. No, we had really this on an energetical level, and this is much way impactful, even people, right, who will be listening us. They understand that, oh, okay, this too, it's real conversation. There, we're not like really,
Yeah.
we're preparing for that. This is the beauty of that, right? That actually it went this direction. So that's why, anyway, I want to say how much grateful, thankful that you are now part of my life. And I really love all your, I even don't content all this. No, I love what you're doing. I always, even I don't have time, like from so many, but I always 3-5 person, I always check them, and I'm like, okay, what is my inspirational place she has put today? I call you often that right? So, and I was so excited today. Oh my God, like, so to my parents, to my daughter, and to my best friend, like, finally it's my Catalina. Even to my husband, usually Friday evenings, today we go to the cottage cabin in the mountains. Like, today, I said, no, this evening is very important. No, I even say, I have my Catalina. I've showed you many times. It's already a couple of months. No, not, we go tomorrow morning.
Oh gosh.
Like,
Oh no, your husband's gonna hate me.
No. Oh no, he laughed. He saw I was so excited. And we were like sitting and then even having a dinner. And Nicola, what kind of hairstyle? We were pretty all of us, like, we should style mom. I'm like, okay, stability also nice. Pajama still is nice with stability. It's my husband. He's making jokes.
Keep branding. Yes.
Yes. He's like, sustainable solution, stability. I love stability. We have way too much cows in the world. Pajama, stability. I like it.
Yes. I love that. When you said that we weren't recording, but when you mentioned that everybody's just adding a mask and you just want to remove that and have people in pajamas on your set, that's beautiful, and it's unique, and that's you, it's like, just be real. Let's have a real conversation, nothing scripted. That is
because they say, I could read this quote I like very much, actually. The most genuine smile when you smile actually without anybody watching you. This is so true. When you sit in, it's kind of the same concept. When you're in your pajama, you're just saying, like, maybe daydreaming, or you just like, digesting everything what's happened for the day, and nobody watching you, and like then you have all different expressions. This is very nice. Then actually, like, always to be curious what actually you were thinking about right now, right? It's like, oh, okay, because then you are most authentic, right? So
true.
It can be a cool idea.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to thank you so much, my dear, and I am gonna be here for when you move to the US.
Absolutely.
You have a place to stay.
I love that. Oh, I love Vegas, really. And now I know who is authentic. I was, okay, I was a little bit struggling because I'm also quite nerdy and I'm deep here. And for me to find this depth was a little bit like, oh, I need to breathe. I need to go somewhere. I need to, not just artificial stuff. I'm struggling a bit. But now, no, I have the soul who is actually in alignment like me, like, yes. We're so much grateful again and again, and I really feel that something special. Even from the very first second I could hear your voice. I remember I was in Paris, quite actually tired, and and it was nighttime, but it was something special when I could feel your voice. I even gave you the message. I said the same, like there was something like I even could feel it, like this light, And now I know more and more. That's why we have to feel and follow our hearts sometimes, and be like God, like Jesus said. We have to know. So many people now, I think, they're afraid. They immediately put all this. It's not. There are two ways to think. There's always problems or there's always solutions, right? In every situation. And any people, before they start in approaching something, they're like, oh no, maybe I cannot write this to this person and reach out because she's too big, or to that and that. Already they make so much barriers that they never even try.
Yeah,
I think, like,
so true.
Jesus said that you should always knock on that door, because at least without knocking, nobody's opening. But if you knock, it's okay if it won't be not open immediately. Maybe it's not the right time, but you should still keep knocking, right?
That's so true.
So that's, I'm so happy. I believe I was knocking on your door. I felt something.
Oh, thank you. Have a lovely day. Actually, it's night there. Have a lovely night, my dear, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. And wow. Oh my God.